Hey everybody, welcome back to Gone Outdoor Radio. You're listening on Kello News Talk or KWSN in Sioux Falls or the Mighty 790 in the Fargo, Moorhead, and surrounding community. Scotty Brewer, Kyle Agri, Brewer Agri Outdoors, and we are going to chat with a good friend of ours, Mr. Chuck DeRemer. He is our and many other people's North Dakota salmon expert. Welcome back to the show, Chuck.
Well, thank you. It's good to hear you guys' voice.
So, Chuck, when we talk salmon in North Dakota, most people think Lake Sakakawea. What kind of salmon are we talking about? Because there are many different varieties.
Yeah, the only one we have in Lake Sakakawea are the Chinook, or sometimes called the king salmon.
Which the Chinook is a very prized table possession. They're very, very tasty.
Oh, yes. Put them on the grill, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, there's a lot of different salmon out there, and there's some salmon snobs, so to speak, out there that don't like this type of salmon or that kind, say they get mushy or whatever. But Chinook are always near the top of the list, and we're very fortunate that we have such a nice population of them in Sakakawea. Speaking of population, the populations and the size vary from year to year. And you really like to keep your tabs on that. How are we looking this year?
I think we're looking very good. We caught a lot of small ones last year, small 3-pounders, which are 2-year-olds, and it just was a good indication for this year. And so far, there's a lot of fish out there. When we were fishing, they're graphing a lot of fish. Now they're not all salmon, but there's a good number of them that are. It looks good to me.
So, Chuck, I know that salmon aren't native to Lake Sakakawea, or maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that they are. What is the intention of the fishery, Lake Sakakawea? What makes it suitable for salmon, number one? And I believe they are all stocked by North Dakota Game and Fish. And why would they do that in this body of water?
Well, first of all, you're right. They are stocked. They're a non-native species. And the reason they're stocked is to provide a deep water fishery. Walleyes, smallmouth bass are typically shallow water, down to 40 feet or so. Where salmon, we're fishing them on 100 feet of water, over in 150 feet of water. So it's different they have a different forage base sometimes. We have both rainbow smelt and we have Cisco in our system. And Cisco is basically deep water forage, and the salmon take advantage of that. The walleyes, not so much. The smelt, they kind of share. The walleyes and the salmon kind of share that a little bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the size range varies greatly based on the forage base. Is that right? Yes,
it is. If you go to Fort Peck, they do have much bigger salmon than we have. They'll have many 25-pound salmon out there. In fact, I just had friends that were out there last week, and they had 4 salmon over 20 pounds in a couple of days of fishing. And part of that is because of their forage base out there is predominantly Cisco. I don't know if they even have any smelt out there. And the fisheries biologist have always told me that the reason they get bigger out there is because the Cisco is a larger fish than a smelt. And so when a salmon eats a Cisco, it gets a lot more nutrients from it than it does from the smelt. And even though it may go around and fish and eat a bunch of the smelt, it has to use up energy to do that. Whereas with one Cisco, they don't have to do that, and therefore they can build up that fat in that bulk from the Cisco. What's happening this year is an interesting piece to that, is that we're seeing smelt now that are 4, 5, 6 inches long. Well, maybe 6 might be an exaggeration, but certainly 3 to 4 inches. Let me say that. We see them 2 to 3 inches. So a lot of the smelt that we're seeing are larger than in the past, and our salmon this year are larger than in the last few years. Now, I don't know if that's the right if that there's a correlation there. I don't know if there's cause and effect or not, but it's interesting to observe that.
So it sounds like with the populations being a little bit higher than what they have been, and the size being a little bit higher than it has been the last few years, that it's a great year to go out and chase some salmon if you wanted to do so. You said right now they're out deep water, but they're not necessarily going to stay out there, right?
That's correct. And I don't know that they've stocked so many extra this year. I think they're bigger just because of the forage. I think they've got roughly the same number. I think they did have a record that they put in there, but it's not significantly bigger than what we've done in the past. But it's certainly fun right now.
So if someone's going to go chase salmon right now here, we're in mid to late September, they might need some special equipment. They're going to need some downriggers. They're going to need a big boat to get out there. But shortly coming in, or we're in mid to late August right now, but coming into September, things are going to change, and most everybody can get to them, correct?
Correct. And even now they can, if you pick your day. I don't have a particularly big boat, and I can get out there, but I don't go out there in 30-mile-an-hour wind either. But you can get out there now, but you do have to have downriggers. Some people do use, very few, but some do use dipsy divers, and dipsies can get down to 90 feet. So you can do that. Now, in I think in the next week or 10 days, people will be able to, even though the salmon haven't moved in super shallow, they'll be in 30, 40 feet of water, and they can use snap weights, real heavy or big build crankbaits if they wanted to catch salmon. Now, in about a month, they'll start moving in mass into the shallow waters. They're so shallow you can watch them swim around with their fins out of the water.
All right, Chuck, we don't have a whole lot of time left, maybe 30 seconds, but explain real quickly why these fish are moving up into that shallow water.
They're moving in to try and spawn. This is the termination of their life. After three years, they're pretty well done. They are done.
Perfect. So it's good to make use of these fish, go out and catch them, make use of them before they die and just become part of the biomass of the lake. Get out there to Sakakawea and catch some salmon and bring them home. That's my recommendation, right, Chuck?
And I would agree. And if you ever get one long lining and have one of these 10, 12, 14-pound salmon hit your crankbait, you'll remember it the rest of your life.
Perfect. Making memories. That's what it's all about. Chuck DeRemer, North Dakota salmon expert. Thanks for coming on Gone Outdoors.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Special thanks to our Gone Outdoors show sponsors, Ray Sport Marine, Adventure RV, Lakeland General Store, Devil's Lake Tourism, Linex of Fargo, and Onyx Fish Midwest, cast beyond the familiar. Thank you for tuning in to today's Gone Outdoors. Follow along when you're on the water or in the field with Gone Outdoor Podcast. KFGO.com, KWSN.com, KELO.com, Apple Podcasts, or on Spotify. You can always find us at BrewerAgriOutdoors.com, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Until next week, Scotty and Kyle will be Gone Outdoors.